Okay, it's 8 p.m. We're in Joinville, and today is July 2nd or 2nd, 2025. And today's live will be really cool, daydreaming and waking up in the dream. Look how cool you were sometimes. You were walking around during the day and you had those thoughts, those dreams, those successes, that really cool thing. But it's during the day. You're conscious and you're moving your body, right? And suddenly you sleep, you dream, and when you dream, you wake up in the middle of the dream. So it's not waking up in the middle of the dream to get out of the dream. It's I'm dreaming, okay? So daydreaming and waking up in the dream. It's actually having metacognition. I'm dreaming, interesting. I'm dreaming. So that's the idea. Okay, we're going to daydream and wake up in the sun. The first thing that's important for you to know is always take a look at this artificial intelligence and ask what the sleep phases are, right? What is each sleep phase like? What happens in each sleep phase? There's N1, there's N2, there's N3, which is a very important phase to wash the brain. Really wash it. Literally remove the dirt from the brain. It's the N3 phase, a little bit in N2 too. And there's REM. REM is when you have rapid eye movements, you dream. And at this conference in Brisbane, in one of the presentations, which many people probably already know about, but I didn't, okay? REN, which is the movement where there are dreams, has two. When you are dreaming, there are two very good stages that keep inverting. It goes back and forth, back and forth. It is the phasic REM and the tonic or active REM. Sometimes one is called tonic and the other active. So you have the phasic REM and the tonic or active REM. Look how interesting. I am talking about daydreaming and waking up in the dream. And we are talking here in the dream, right in the dream, which is REM. When you are dreaming, it is REM. It is important for you to know if you dream, it is REM, okay? But in the dream, there are two stages, two types of things in your brain. It is the phasic REM and the tonic REM. Great. What is phasic REM? The dream is very strong. For those who see in colors and dream in colors, it is colorful, it is intense. This moment of phasic, it activates the brain a lot. Many parts of the brain, but it activates emotions and feelings a lot. And it starts to exchange these emotions and feelings. Just look, during the day when you try to do everything, you have a tension-filled self. It's interesting, each action has an I to do it. If the I does it and it returns to normal, returns to being, it doesn't have any bodily tension from the action it did. So, for example, I have to do something, but I have a little pain in my back, a tiny contraction in my back. Okay, but I need to do something and concentrate well. Okay. I start to tense my body to concentrate in such a way that this little pain in my back will disappear. Because I tensed, I imposed more pain on my body and my stomach, for example. Whoever has a pain in the stomach or belly, I silence the voice of my interoception with my attention to do something. I don't know if it was good. I'll explain it another way. The self, when you create the self inside yourself since you were 5 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old, when you create the self, you have some tensions inside you, tensions of hunger, desires, hunger, anger. You have some tensions and you have attention. And in this tension, with the tension, the self is connecting the things that you receive, the stimuli, visual, auditory, somatosensory stimuli a lot, okay? All your senses are coming and you are connecting the stimuli that you are receiving in this network, in this self, which is the self, which is in that moment, it is intention. This tensional self is learning that when it is connected to something to do, to resolve itself in that moment. But sometimes when you go to do something, you feel a tension in your stomach. How interesting. When you do something, you can feel a tension in your stomach. Over time, you will do it with the same attention, but you will no longer feel the pain in your stomach. This is important. So what happens? The selves that you are during the day, when you wake up, when you get up, when you go for a walk, when you ride your bike, when you study, when you run, when you play, each self, each action is a self, and each self puts attention on the viscera and on the body posture. When it's in the viscera, it's very involved with a deep feeling, a deep metabolism, and that deep feeling is putting tensions in the viscera. REM phasic. During REM phasic, you will release the tension that is left in your viscera. You will relieve it. You will make your feelings and emotions more flexible during REM phasic. So during REM phasic, you are relaxing, viscerally speaking, allowing interoception to return to normal. And sometimes the normal, if you have an ulcer, is the pain of the ulcer. It's the pain of the ulcer, you understand? Because it's normal. When the ego takes over, it creates a pain like this. It lowers, it raises the pain threshold so that the stomach pain doesn't come. So it tenses everything, the viscera, so as not to do it. And sometimes that little pain in the stomach that you had when the ego comes in, it goes in already doing it, acting with anger, with too much desire, and that pain goes away. It disappears, but it is there. You put a tension above. Okay, but if I spend the whole day with this anxiety, for example, this tension continues. The only place for it to relax is in the rephasic dream. Look how interesting. Rephasic. Okay, so what is rephasic? It will make emotions and feelings more flexible. And the tonic rephasic, the active one, the tonic rephasic. The tonic rephasic is a little less dreamless. It is still REM. It still has eye movement, which REM means eye movement. It is tonic because it acts on the sensory somato. Look how interesting. Sensory somato reminds us a lot of the concept of APOS, the concept of extended proprioception. And here comes something really fantastic. The active tonic, the reentonic, and this extended perception itself has a very big trick. Each self that you activate, the self that is going to enter the church. Okay, entering the church, the self. This self that enters the church perceives the volume of the church. The self that is going to enter the theater. This self that enters the theater perceives the volume of the theater. The self that is going to enter a sports court. This me who is about to enter a sports court perceives the volume of the sports court, but I don't just perceive the external volume, I also perceive the position of my arms, tendons, and joints. This position, and more. This me who enters the theater already places a position, a corporal tension in my body and my joints, which restricts certain movements within the volume in which I am perceiving myself. If I talk about the origin of the term apos, it is the following. When you are going to hike up this very high mountain, you have to breathe differently, behave differently, have a different structure for walking, eating, sitting, resting, otherwise you will die. This is the origin of apos, and apos, when I apply it, is the extended apos. When you have a position, when you go to a place, to a theater, when you go to the sports court, and if you go to the sports court, play, enter the court, or you go to watch a game, you already place yourself in a body posture. In this volume, you already give freedom of body movements within the volume that you perceive yourself to be. Okay, this space, this volume that I perceive to be there gives me a bodily restriction, a freedom of movement. It's all right. But in the dream, I also realize I'm in the volume. And in the dream, I will also have a restriction of movement and more, which is cool. It's proprioception. I will also feel hot and cold parts of the body on top of the body. During the dream, I can locate where it is hotter or colder, where it hurts more or less. So in the tonic realm, you are in the somatosensory system. You will feel the body. body. It's not so much visceral, it's the structural body. So in this tonic realm, if you enter there with awareness, if you awaken your awareness, you're still asleep, but you've woken up. Oops, I'm asleep. You can think about your body. Where is something hurting? Oh, my back hurts. Oh, there's something hot here in my chest. I'm very anxious. At this moment in the dream, you can feel this hot thing and just lower your chest more to feel more pain. Don't make it feel less pain. You will feel more pain because the pain was in your body, and during the day, your anxiety imposed this pain, and now in your dream, you will undo it. You undo the pain by feeling it. It's not by taking medicine for it. You undo it by feeling the pain. And if you are in a tonic dream or an active dream or this different dream, you focus on it. Lower your chest a little if it is chest pain to feel it more. Breathe into it, dreaming, Dreaming, breathe into it, and this pain will dissolve into things there, right? 40 seconds, 60 seconds. And in a dream, that's a long time, okay? 40 seconds in a dream really is a long time, so it's a different thing. So look what we're talking about. In REM sleep, you can have, in active or tonic REM sleep, you can find points of tension in the body and relax. Dreaming. Very cool. And in the phasic dream, you have the emotional and emotional flexibility. Sentimental and emotional are the emotions your being that was incorporated in that feeling so that he could do it that way in that place he goes at the time of the dream. And I'm not in that. You were treating an animal well or badly, but suddenly now that animal is a person. And if you treated a person well, suddenly that person becomes a bunch of people. And the feeling is different. So he will change feelings and emotions to clean, to sweep, to remove energies from your brain. What are energies? Things that you wanted to do during the day or had to do, you swallowed, blocked. There was no metabolism. There was no outlet for a feeling that you felt during the day. Sometimes you feel a feeling of hatred, anger, something very strange, and you block that feeling because you were in a church or you were in a sports court or you were in a classroom and you blocked it. These blockages cause an allergy. They stay in the brain. And I'm going to release these blockages, these allergies in the phasic dream, in the tonic dream. REM phasic, REM tonic. That's the idea I wanted to convey to you, which is very important. And metacognition is getting there. And now we're going to talk a little more about metacognition to help you. When you reach metacognition in one of the previous lives that I told you about, I said, man, look, metacognition, it's something, it's a brain maturation. It depends on the maturation of brain functions from the top, cortex, prefrontal, top down, downwards. It's as if the brain is structured from the cortex inwards. And this happens with people whose studies show that the top down has a better maturation between 25 and 30 years old. And this top-down reference is reasonably related to metacognition. So metacognition is expected to be more common in people between 25 and 30 years old. Note, 25 and 30 years old is an experiment that started with people who were born in 2000. That's okay. You still got that phase. We have a problem around 2014 when social networks started to put feeds, and on Instagram too, there was a bigger confusion, and he had a social injury because of that. This social injury is because you have the benefit of playing for pleasure without movements. I'll talk about that in a bit. So at this moment, the study that says the brain is mature from 25 to 30 years old is that it took people around the year 2000. If we're going to take people from 2010 and up, 2015, Maybe this could be delayed even more, becoming mature after 30, because they are children who used a lot of Instagram and a lot of social networks with feeds and games and feeds and that kind of thing. So it could have hindered the brain's maturity. The brain basically becomes mature at 30, 35, and so on. That's why I like the age of 40 for people who want to try psychoactives. Try it after 40, because then your brain is fine and you'll try it, okay? So let's take this belonging. Not belonging, but metacognition. Metacognition is top-down brain growth after the age of 25. Why do I say this? Because during the dream, you start to have lucid dreams. Look how interesting. The dream is lucid. Jackson, you said you daydream too. Yes, yes. When you go into a dream, the dream is funny because the dream is simply you continue in the dream itself. N1, N2, N3, you are kind of blocked in movement, kind of dope, kind of slow. And when you get to REM, it's real life again. You realize it's your reality. In the dream, you realize it's your reality. So real life again in the dream, but without physical movements. Without physical movement. And a certain part of the dream, including low breathing. Remember that I told you that when breathing slows down, the respiratory flow, the saturation drops. And if the saturation drops, this part of the prefrontal becomes activated because it realizes that it has more carbon dioxide than before. If it has more carbon dioxide than yesterday, I'm going to open the veins and arteries of the prefrontal to absorb more oxygen. Look how interesting. The carbon dioxide, the saturation is decreasing, but it's oxygenating the prefrontal more. Yes, because then it dilates that part. At level X, okay, it's close to dropping to 97, 96, 95, something like that. The same thing you do when you're going to study or pay attention to a book. Focused attention, high performance focus, saturation can reach 94. But at 94, you're missing breathing. But if you breathe deeply, you lose focus. Because with saturation close to 94, this part here is very activated. And this is attentional control. Attentional control, your attention is very activated. So it's important to know this. And the metacognition process, people age 25 over 30, they start to feel like they're dreaming and have a more lucid dream more easily. And during the day, look at this cool tip. You can stop, try to immobilize the movement of the body, stop the body, keep breathing, try to relax everything. The body relaxes well. I have a breathing pattern that I told you was 4, 7, 4, 7, 8. Breathe in 4 times, right? Breathe, hold, 7, release in 8. When you do this 4 times this breath, pull in 4. Hold for 7, release for 8. You are ready to do something else that releases bodily tension. You're going to breathe 3 times. Up top, inhale, like this. Look. 3 times you breathed in. So I breathe like this. Very tense. And here all the tension is punched out and released once. Released. Regulates the body. Tense again when released. Release 2. Adjust the body. Pulls the abdomen. Release 3. Breathe again in 3 counts. And here it's tense. And then you're going to try first to let out the air. Let out this part here. Look. Hold the body, pull the abdomen, release again. Hold your body, pull in your abdomen, release again. You breathe in 3 times and 3 times. 1, 2, 3, one on top of the other. Lock everything in like a big bear. Then relax the bear, relax the bear. Turn into a little ant. If you do this, you will try to relax. The muscle contractions will start to decrease a lot. You will facilitate your restful sleep. which is relaxation, which is this part of the somatosensory system, where there are tensions that you are sleeping with, and the next day you wake up a little more tense because you were unable to release a tension. You were unable to release these little things, these energies that are pent up in a form, not pent up in the brain, but it has a ballast in the body or visceral tension. And that's what we're doing, okay? Trying to show you that suddenly with breathing you can change. That me that will do anything during the day, he also, before doing it, it changes your breathing and you don't notice, you're not aware. But yourself, when it's ready to go for a walk, when it's going to ride a bike, when it's going to read, it has already changed your respiratory flow. It has already changed your oximetry. But we don't realize that because automatically, let's go. Your perception is your reality, daydreaming, waking up in the dream. Also, at times, while daydreaming, you may dream about your future plans. There is no future, there is no past, there is only now. Yes, but I can plan for the future. I can remember the past. It reminds me a lot of what I tell you about the executive, legislative, and judiciary branches. The executive is now, the legislative is planning for the future, remembering the future, and the judiciary is looking at the past. Normally, that the judiciary looks at the past, the legislature looks at the future, the executive is now. So everything you do is in the now. And it is important for you to have these visions, you understand? And then metacognition is when you are planning for the future, okay? You are planning, you are legislating, you are putting together a strategy to get there. Metacognition is, look, it's okay, it's not okay, it's all that. If you are looking at the past, you are an executive who is looking at the past. It is a now who is looking at the past. He looks at the past and will judge whether he did well or whether some things were right or wrong. But the important thing is that he is now. Why do we dream, man? We dream to plan differently, to get out of the cuts we made for our day. Every cut, you only have one hole. Every time you talk about the moon, you differentiate the moon from the sun or the universe. And every time you talk about the moon, then you've already cut out the moon content. Everything is one. The universe is one. It is one thing with you together. You are not separate. This universe was not made for you. You are the universe that is made for the universe itself. It is one thing, okay? But for us to learn, we cut. There is you and there is me. Cut. There is the moon and there is the sun. Another cut. These clippings will not bring you the whole reality, but rather a concept, an awareness, a learning, a knowledge, because it is a clipping. You clip to learn and put together to live. Without clipping, life is without clipping, but learning needs clipping. Those connectomes that I speak to you about treasure, you need to clip. You need to clip to better understand mathematics, Portuguese, English. I don't know what you need to clip, but life is without clipping. The whole, when you know, there's no clipping, okay? We clip to learn. What are dreams for? One of the clippings for what a dream is to release energy. That which was tense during the day for some reason, the tense shoulder, the tonic kingdom. If you have metacognition in the tonic realm or lucid dreaming, you will be able to tense up, you will relax, especially if you know this, and you will apply it to your dream. Hey, calm down, I'm dreaming. It's the rheonic. If it's the rheonic, I'm not seeing much, which is much more enjoyable, but I'm feeling the body and I locate the body, so I'm dreaming. So can I relax this man? I can. And the mouth I can because it's the rheonic. So you use the rheonic to relax the jaw, relax the shoulder, relax the body's tensions. And the emphasis, when you use it, you don't actually use it because then you're seeing a bunch of colorless things. Your emotions are becoming more flexible with the things you're seeing. Okay, we construct these tensional selves with our tensions of the moment, our restrictions, intentions, desires, and wishes in the moment, and attention. What happens to our internet today? Our internet today is driven by attention. So, what I give you, if I am the internet, I want your attention. The internet, the profit is attention time. If I gain your attention time, that's what I want. I am the internet. The internet that I speak of are the artificial intelligence algorithms. There are few humans behind these algorithms, from the social network immediately in the first layer. So, what I want is your attention. If I want your attention, I have to give you what you like. By giving what you like, you have something he calls easy dopaminergic return, easy reward return. It's really cool to watch the videos you like. It's really cool to see the things you believe in. It's really cool. And look, that's exactly it. Look and show it to others. So the soul of the internet is precisely to give what you believe in. Give what you think is the truth, and the truth is not individual. You don't have the truth, I don't have the truth. The truth is relational, and the internet comes and gives you the truth as you being a great, brilliant mind, and now you receive this small reward from the internet itself. Why does the internet give you this reward? Because it wants your attention time. With your attention time, the internet sells, social networks sell. With the attention time, YouTube pays more to the person who made the video, and so on, because the attention time watches all videos. So what we're having is the internet, attention span, and feedback. That's what I think. That's what I like. That's it. And it pays off. And then you save your time on the internet. Why am I talking about this together in this talk about daydreaming and waking up in the dream? And why did I tell you about meditation? If you really want to daydream, you can stop the movement. Stop the movement. And your head becomes a little different and it keeps happening. On the internet, sometimes you stop moving, you stay still. It's almost a meditation process. And it will give you feedback, real feedback, metabolic feedback, feedback here in your head, feedback that rewards you without you making the movement, without you making the mistake. It will give you the feedback of going to get a fruit from the tree, climbing the tree and going there to pick the fruit. When I was little, I would go and get mangoes from the tree, go up there, pick that mango, come back and eat that mango with that pleasure. It gives you feedback. It complicates the same pleasure. And it does not construct that exception itself. And it destroys the imagery of your own dream because now you want everything fast. The dream ends up being less colorful than the video you show on the internet. It seems that watching the video is more interesting than dreaming. Look at the human distortion, the distortion of humanity. Then we start to have a basis for joy. The behavior is here in the videos on the internet. So the ideological groups put you in activated mode, activate your emotions, activate strong emotions and play and hold your attention with social networks, hold your attention. And this ideological, religious, culinary, veterinary, whatever, astronomy, whatever, this ideological group makes us what we are not. You are the universe. You are part of it, and you are the universe. From the moment you start to cut, you say that the other human is not human if he does not do this, or is human only if he does that. These are cuts, and this is a function of your ideological group. You already cut out the world, that which has my truth. Whoever thinks he has the truth is satanic. Truth is relational. It is between us. We need to change this idea that I have the truth. Be flexible. Where? In the dream. Waking up in a dream. If you are over 25, try to wake up in a dream. Some people write down their dream and then start to actually wake up or remember the dream. But the most important thing is to wake up in a dream while dreaming. And at that moment, you start to think, man, am I in a phasic dream or am I in a tonic dream? If I am in a phasic dream, it's beautiful. Everything is colorful. I am working with my emotions. Don't condemn your emotions. Let your emotions flow. It's a dream. And this flow of emotions will cleanse your energies that are blocking your brain. And when you get to the tonic dream, the tonic king, you are not seeing much, but you feel your whole body and how your body is in the imagery of your body. And you feel the tensions in your body. You relax, you make your body more flexible. And that is the after that I'm talking to you about. The after is that part, that sensation of your body, the territory, everything together. Guys, that is what I wanted to leave you with. Respect your dream, practice dream hygiene, always prepare your place to sleep well, have nice water just right. Don't drink alcohol 4 hours before going to sleep. Don't drink coffee 10 hours before bed. Don't drink coffee so that your dream has dream hygiene and a beautiful dream. And the dream and the phases N1, N2, N3, and the phasic REM and the tonic REM so that you can grow and be better and better and your brain has maturity. This maturity with metacognition, of course, above 25 is what the group will achieve on average. But why not keep trying? A big hug. See you next Wednesday.